Hey guys, hope you're doing well. So I'm just gonna do a quick reading. I've been wanting to do one for a few days now, and I've just been kind of exhausted and really drained. Every time I go to do one, I'm just like really tired and shit, and I just can't like focus, or I'm just want to go to sleep. So anyway, I'm just gonna do like a short one, and hopefully over the next few days I'll have a little bit more energy to kind of talk about some of the changes that are going on, everything that's like I feel like there's so much shit going on right now, but I don't really want to talk about all that. I'm just going to pull some cards and just see like what spirit wants us to know, what specific messages they have for us. The energy has been really intense though, so even if you're not used to like feeling a lot of physical energy symptoms, you might be feeling them. The last like week or two has been really freaking bad. This one or no? Okay. Just those two. Okay, on the bottom we got intuition and manifestation with behind a mask. And then, okay, just do this first, hold on. Lily, come here. Lily. So for some of you, it feels like, and they just showed me like 33, so 33 might be significant for you, or you might be seeing the number related to this message. So if you're seeing it like right before this message, like this reading, or right after you watch it, like this is what it's related to. It feels like you're getting kind of more clarity on what you really want. I feel like this message has kind of come up over the last few months on and off, but it feels like some of you guys are just really going deep into your feelings and deep into like uncovering why what you want isn't here, like getting some more clarity on it. For some of you, it also feels like you're kind of being blocked from what's going on. So some of you might be getting clarity, some of you might be being blocked. You might be going in and out of both. It has a purpose, and kind of what they're saying is you're learning lessons, you're gaining tools, and you're getting more awareness about this bigger purpose, this bigger journey, this bigger thing that you want. They keep saying like patience, like patience, like take time, like not take time. They keep saying patience, things take time. But things are going to be like stable and lasting, so you can be in the right place to be open to receive them. Some of you still have walls to be able to fully accept and receive it in the way that you are envisioning it, or the way you're wanting it. So if you're kind of struggling, Spirit's saying like try to give yourself some grace, but also try to look at where you're still, hi Sage, I haven't seen you for a bit. Hi, try to see where you're still blocking yourself, or like what's going on with you, where like you can ask yourself like, where am I not actually allowing this in still, or where do I still lack trust and safety with what I want? What information do I still need? And kind of look a little bit deeper at like what it is that you're needing, what it is that you're wanting, all right. And like where it's still blocked, like where there's still like unknown information, where there's still like a lack of, like I said, safety and trust. That feels like a big one. Hi, say hi to everybody. Say hi to everybody. Hi, give me a kiss. No. Okay, so these two cards we got, family, friends, and guides, and transformation. So what's interesting is this is the 6 and 5 card, and the one that kind of was popping out, which was the decrease card, it didn't like fully come out, but it was a 4. So kind of like when you're descending, a lot of times means you're like, you went up the hill and now you're kind of on the back side of the hill, which I feel like Spirit kind of gave us that message a few months ago about that. Oh my God, you're so cute. I love you. Give me a kiss. You're not gonna give me a kiss though, are you? Anyway, so with the family, friends, and guides, and transformation, it actually feels like big shifts and changes in your relationships, the way you relate to other people, literally your family and friends. Also for some of you, it feels like there's some shifting, some like energetic shifting, they're saying, is going on within yourself, like your own energy and your own intuition, and also with how you connect to spirit. So some of this is human, some of this is spiritual, like some of it is like your relationships with others, your relationship with yourself, and they're saying self-care to me as I said that. And just like, yeah, energetic shifts that are happening to help you come more in tune with like your soul self and your intuition. So some of you guys might be getting, come here, messages. You might, oh shit, I threw the paper out. You might be getting messages. You might be, getting, shit, sorry, I'm like getting distracted trying to do two things at once. Normally I'm very good at doing multiple things, but my energy is a little like exhausted lately. You might be getting messages from your spirit guides. You might be getting them in dreams. You might be getting them in downloads. They might also be changing the way you get them too. So they might be coming to you in different ways. There is a group though who's like in my kind of group where we already kind of trust our intuition and all this stuff. If you are in that group and you've been in that group where you trust your intuition, you might be starting to feel doubts, or you might be starting to kind of question yourself again, like how you used to. It might feel like you went back to the beginning when you first started awakening to your gifts and you started opening up to them and they started coming in and you're kind of questioning what's true and what's not. If that's you, there's multiple reasons, but for most people who are in that right now, where they've already learned to trust their intuition and they feel like they went backwards, you didn't. Some of you, it's seeing how you used to feel so you can help people presently, but also some of you are energetically connected to other people and you're helping kind of pull them up to trust themselves. So as you're kind of standing solid with the tools you've learned and what you know, you're energetically like guiding people to trust their own intuition and kind of help the way like energies and like people helped you. You're kind of doing the same, and it doesn't even, like, you don't even have to physically talk to them. You might be actually just feeling people's stuff and you might not understand it. So I know for me this week, I've been giving people messages like at the store and stuff like that. And I've been feeling their energy fucking like hours later. Even when I cleanse it, it doesn't matter. Like hours later, and I could hear like some of the shit that they're thinking about, like trusting themselves and just like all kinds of stuff. And I'm just like, oh my God, this is like a lot, but I can feel it's not mine. But there's a lot of like doubts going on. There's a lot of like fears going on. A lot of people are coming, like they've already went through their awakening, but they're coming into like a different level of their awakening. And also they're coming into a different level of their spiritual gifts. So people who haven't actively used them and like haven't had awareness to using them are starting to kind of come into that energy like you were at one point. So you might be in either or. Oh, do you want me to take this card? It's the sadness anger card, but that's not really, I'm not getting that message specifically. The message I'm kind of getting is your emotions might be like really all over the place and they're kind of like a roller coaster, like up and down. You might be feeling like a certain emotion or certain feelings, stuff from the past coming up. A lot of past stuff is coming up. People are coming back into your life, or you're having thoughts or dreams or memories or unresolved issues with people from the past that you don't talk to, and or they're reaching out to you, you're going to run into them, whatever. So some of you guys are resolving past conflict. For the group that is awakening to their spiritual gifts right now and having the awareness, you've always had them, but having the awareness to them, it feels like you guys are kind of going back to the past to really validate what you already knew and kind of get more clarity on what you already knew and learning to like trust it. And you will get like some type of like confirmation or concrete validation. For the other group, it feels like you might have had some past stuff coming up and it's really like just kind of sitting at the surface unresolved. You will get the clarity and answers as you're supposed to. And most of you have already learned to kind of like let it flow and trust like that the answers and information will come to you at the right time. Kind of what's happening is some of you guys are working with other people energetically. So I'll give you an example for me because I feel like it's the easiest way to say it. Kind of what they were saying is, so I've had like certain traumas coming up that are very unresolved and I don't really have full clarity and stuff like that. So kind of as it comes up, what happened was I was, acknowledging it and kind of asking questions. I didn't get anything. So I let it go. I didn't force it. There's, no reason for that. And so in that period of time before I get the actual clarity, I'm energetically energetically helping people on the same level who are trying to work through stuff. So I'm basically like the stability, the energetic stability, and my foot's done, the energetic stability there as they're working through it. And then whenever it's the right time for them to get clarity, usually what happens for me is I'll get the information, I'll process it, and then usually I'll help other people with it, either physically talking to them through readings like this, or if their energy is open, they'll actually be able to just receive it. So you might be doing the same thing too if like over the last 1 or 2 weeks you've had random, I shouldn't say that, traumas and things from the past coming up without the clarity. That's probably why. And if you can kind of feel it, but you're like fine, like I mean I'm fine. So I've learned to trust and just let things, like, the answers will come when they're supposed to. Anyway, okay, we got obliviousness and awareness. I feel like awareness is a big message today. Self-love and self-loathing, which I also feel like, because when I said about the changes to yourself, self-love, they specifically said to me, advise and listen. Hi baby, where's bringing the ball back? With the obliviousness and awareness, some of you, it's definitely like that past energy coming up to help you see things different, to help you deal with unresolved emotions. And again, I keep getting this like relating back to seeing how your intuition was always accurate and getting kind of that validation for it. If you're not getting it the way you need, ask spirit, figure out how you need it to trust it, and then ask them for the thing, ask them for whatever evidence you need, and then give it some space, and they'll give it to you at the right time, whenever you're supposed to receive it. You can't just expect it right the moment you ask, because there might be something like in the middle, like I call it the in-between, in the in-between that you're needing to heal. And if you had the answer, then you wouldn't be working through like the resistance and the other stuff that you're needing to. So for some of you, I also get this sense that you're ignoring certain feelings you have about somebody or something. It might be more than one thing. It feels like a lot of it doesn't feel like anger. It feels almost like this sadness, like love, like longing energy. It feels like kind of something to do with that and seeing it differently. With the self-love and self-loathing, this again feels a lot like past energy kind of coming up to show you where you weren't really choosing yourself, to show you where you also weren't really standing in your power and loving yourself, and how you became a person that you aren't, to kind of appease other people or to kind of fit in, or what you were taught you should be like. They just brought this up. So interesting enough, earlier today I was having this weird ass fucking energy, and I didn't catch it until afterward, feeling like my old self, but like I didn't even realize. And like my best friend she's so fucking sweet, she'd actually come to the shop to buy me flowers because of something that happened this week, and she's like, we gotta celebrate. So she had come in, but we had a conversation about something, and she'd said something to me about something that I used to do in the past. And I was like, you know, obviously I didn't realize like that even happened with her, like me doing anything like that to her. And I had realized on my own that I had that mindset a few months back. So obviously when she said it to me, I kind of reflected on it. I was like, you know, obviously I'm sorry, but I kind of reflected on it. And what I realized was like, when I get, when I'm around like 2 people or more, and one person's feeling like left out, or feeling, this is kind of what it was about, feeling like left out or feeling uncomfortable, I kind of like try to like fix the other person's like emotions and try to like help them. And like, I realized it was something I realized a few months ago, because I remember something my dad used to do to me. And then I realized I was doing the same shit in like a different way, but like pretty much the same thing. And I was like, oh my God, I cannot believe I do this, and I cannot do this. But I realized like I would go into this almost like people pleasing. I'm going to try to take care of your emotions type shit. And I caught myself reflecting back when she had said that, actually feeling that emotion today. And I didn't do it today, but almost feeling like kind of that same desire to do it, I guess. So it was something for me. I'm just like, okay, what I do, like, because Spirit's like, why don't you tell them what you do? So what I do is I acknowledge it. I think that's the most important thing, is acknowledging it. And it's not making yourself feel bad about it. This is part of the self-love too. It's not making yourself feel bad about it or anything like that. It's just like accepting it. It's like, okay, I did that. Like, you know, accepting it and like just trying to do better next time. You know, like I am a big believer in taking an accountability and apologizing for stuff. So if I recognize like she didn't even give a shit, she wasn't even bringing it up in the sense of like she was upset or anything like that. We were talking about it because it related to a specific person, and that's why we were talking about it. But I don't know, I'm just like a big believer in that. So like for me, that's kind of the way I do things, and I don't sit there and like hold myself like, oh my God, you should feel so bad about it, and you know, all this stuff. Like I recognize that like, you know, there are characteristics and traits and things that I've learned and I've picked up on. No, you can sit or jump down. That I've picked up on, and that like sometimes we just don't have awareness of stuff, and that's okay. So like, you know, as soon as we do, it's like taking responsibility for our behaviors, you know, acknowledging and apologizing, but also accepting that like that's okay that, you know, we did something, and just do better next time. So I was gonna throw something for you, but also with the self-love too, it feels like some of you guys are sitting in this almost like emotionally depressive cycle of lack. Like, I don't have this, I don't have this, I don't have this. Some of you, it feels like it relates to something in the past you, hold on, they're very specific about this, that you quote unquote had, but you didn't really had. You thought you had, but you didn't really have. It was almost like this very surface level and or superficial thing that you had, and like almost like you were telling yourself it was something better than it actually was. So some of that is coming up too. But Spirit's saying like when you accepted certain behaviors, you accepted certain people and certain things, like you were a different person. You didn't have the awareness that you have now, and like you wouldn't be the person you are now if you hadn't experienced what you experienced back then. Had you not went through the situation, you wouldn't have learned and you wouldn't have grown from it. So it's being graceful to yourself, and it's just kind of like, it's just accepting. It's just like, okay, yeah, I did that. It's accepting it. We don't need to add shame. We don't need to add guilt. We don't need to add anything to it other than an acknowledgement. Like, okay, yeah. I think, okay, hold on. So that relates a lot to something else, I think, with self-care, I would say. Maybe they didn't say self-love, they said self-care earlier. Like a lot of times when we're feeling really anxious or we're feeling certain emotions and things that we don't like, we will try to change them, or we sit there and we like, I notice this with people. I don't do this, but back in the day I used to do this. I notice a lot of times when I'm helping people, they're like, I have to change this. I have to fix this about myself. I have to fix this about myself. And I'm like, why do you keep thinking that there's a problem with who you are? Like, why do you not accept yourself the way you are? And it's because people have been taught that their emotions and their feelings and their behaviors are problematic. Like, can they be? Of course they are. Like, or not of course they are. Of course they can be. But they're not all. And like, unless you're hurting yourself or somebody else, your behavior is probably not problematic like you've been taught it is. But some of those emotions people don't want to feel. They're like, oh, I feel so anxious. I need to change this. I need to do this. Sometimes it's just accepting that, damn, I feel anxious. And that in itself is what changes it. It's not about going into all this bullshit of I'm wrong and I'm a bad person and there's something, you know what I'm saying, like I need to fix, which implies, hey, Sage, you are driving me nuts. Which imply, come here. Didn't I just throw a ball for you? Yeah, here, come on, let's go in the room, actually. There you go, get down. Which implies like there's something actually wrong with you when there's not. So it's kind of like reframing the way you see things and the way you talk to yourself and kind of changing it from like, there's a problem with me and I need to fix this about myself, to why don't I accept and love myself the way I am? And learn how to process and handle my emotions and work through them and give myself love the way you deserve. Sage, come here. You. Oh shit, driving me fucking bananas. Stop. I was gonna put her in the room, but she was actually like hiding in the garage, so I didn't. And then look at where we're at. No. Stop. Stop. Come here. Nope. Come here. Oh, you're so cute though. Nope, you're gonna snuggle. Whether you want to or not, it's happening. So yeah, like for example, like when, aw, give me a kiss. So like when I get really anxious and stuff, I used to get so mad at myself. I'm like, I need to stop getting so anxious. I need to stop worrying about this. Like, why am I so worried about this? Like, I need to stop. I need to do this, this, and this. And I used to actually do the same shit. And so now like when I'm anxious, what I'll do is I'm anxious right now. And I just kind of identify and I'm like, I'm anxious right now. I don't try to fix it. I don't try to change it. I go, why am I anxious right now? What's going on with me? And then what I try to do is self-soothe and give myself love and like get back to myself. You know what I mean? And then if there's something I can do about it, do it. And if not, then I sit in my discomfort and I give myself love and I have a conversation with myself. You know, it's different every time, but with the advise and listen. So this card is actually, Spirit's pretty specific about it's not just listening to your logical mind and your human mind. It's also listening to your intuition and integrating both. Like I just get a lot of you guys are going to get activations and stuff, or you've already been getting like spiritual activations. So it's learning to listen and hear. And you can see when something is truth or not. You can feel, I mean, I don't know how to explain it because it's like everybody feels it in a different way and everybody receives it in a different way. But try to be open-minded with what you're feeling and try to be more open-minded with the information you're getting from your spirit guides and your spirit team. Because I'm getting the sense like a lot of spirit guides are coming in right now and they're talking to you. When it's most of the time, when a spirit guide comes in and talks to you, it sounds like words. It sounds like words in your head. But it doesn't, it's like you're hearing it as your voice, but you can tell it's not your voice because it's not words you normally use. It's not the way you normally say things. Sometimes it's like very repetitive, like over and over and over until you listen to it. And it's not the same thing as like when you're stuck in like a trauma cycle where you're anxious and you're having a bunch of fear thoughts. It's not that. It's literally words and all that stuff. Usually there's no emotion or like anything with it. Sometimes there's like an inner knowing and feeling that you can feel the truth from it. But if it's not that, it's usually just words and stuff like that. So even if you're not fully trusting in it, Spirit's saying just kind of open yourself up to hear it and listen to it and stop trying to shut it down. Because for some of you, it feels like you're trying to shut it down. Like you're trying to ignore it for some reason. And I'm not really sure why. It's going to be different for everybody why. But okay, let me pull. I feel like I want to pull from like one more deck. Yep. Okay. Let's get one last message. The Star, a dream come true. Believe in yourself. The end of a difficult situation. And then we got 8 of Gabriel. A great deal of activity, sudden and immediate results, important communication. We have a lot of feminine energy today. With the Highest Priestess, powerful psychic insights, reflection and meditation that provides valuable information, be at peace. Is that not freaking hysterical though? We got a lot of like stuff about like information coming in, like intuition, trusting yourself, that type of stuff. With the Star card though, and the 8 of Gabriel, a lot of times when I see this, I actually say this is the card like where your spirit team's usually giving you messages or you're like important communication or you're getting some type of information. For some of you, it has to do with kind of the intuition and manifestation that you want. But you're needing to like listen to it. And for some of you, you are closing a cycle out, and at the end of the cycle, like sometimes cycles take a little while to close out. At the end of the cycle, you're going to have more confidence and faith in yourself. So if you don't right now, like that's again, just the acceptance of like, it's okay, you know, that I'm not feeling confident right now. It's okay that I'm not, you know, I'm going to do the best that I can and I'm going to feel like what I need to feel, and that's okay. And like, just kind of give yourself reassurance, just give yourself validation. Like, it's okay. I don't feel confident, right? Like right now. Don't try to force it. You're forcing it doesn't actually help. You naturally will build it up over time as you're making choices that are healthy for you, as you're seeing things different and you're healing like the past where you were taught not to love yourself, or you made different choices, you know, you're healing all those things to actually build you up. And it's like piece by piece kind of happening and coming in, but it's kind of Spirit's just saying like you're growing to be the person you're supposed to be, and your dreams are going to come true, but they're very specifically emphasizing about listening to your spirit team right now. They're coming to you in different ways. So I was going to name them and they said, don't trust the ways that they're coming to you. You will feel it. Just stop trying to shut it down and trying to say it's not true. Just try to keep an open mind. So I hope that this helps, and I hope you guys all have an awesome night.